Being asexual is about sexual attraction. It is not about whether or not you are afraid of sex. It is not about whether you have some kind of mental illness that affects how you interact with people in a sexual way. It is not about if you have erectile dysfunction and so you don't get aroused as much. It has nothing to do with any of that. It is literally whether or not you are sexually attracted to other people.
I'd rather keep it real with ya.
Hey everybody, it's me, Minu, back with another video as I shuffle around. I was gonna make a video talking about Dreamsexual, but then I went to the offending Instagram page and saw they added several more things that I'm gonna just add on to this video because honestly, to make a video about every single fake ass micro label I mean, I guess I could, and it'll be just a bunch of short videos, but then it could go on for like years because there are so many. Like if you watched my other video on micro labels, you saw that it was a lot. It was a lot. It was micro labels, it was new attractions, and it was very exhausting. So I'm not going to go through a million of them, just some that I looked at while I was like, this is some bullshit. But let's start with the one that brought me to make this video, okay? Dreamsexual. So, gonna read what they said here. Um, it is defined as when one only feels sexual attraction during their dreams. When they're awake, they rarely or never feel sexual attraction. It is on the asexual spectrum and has an aromantic counterpart called dream romantic. Now, you already know how I feel about trying to make aromantic be like the exact same thing as asexual. Like they're not the same thing. They interact with the body and the brain differently. They come about differently. Anyway, sir, ma'am, this person has a gender neutral name. Stop, stop. And I've actually started to see people because their page hit like over 11,000 followers a couple months ago. And so like these people like this it honestly feels like a grift at this point. Like you're preying on the fact that asexual people are desperate for representation, that you're just posting anything so that you can continue posting things so that you can get likes. Like there's only so many times you can post a ace flag with the words what is it? Not a phase on it, or you know, we are valid on it or something like that. Like there's only so many times you can do that. Um so in order to keep their content alive, they're posting stuff. And so I thought that they were making all of this up. Now, some of them they did, but it does appear because someone questioned them. Thank goodness. There we go, people. Yes, yes, please question this person. Someone questioned them about, are people actually claiming to identify as this, or is this something that you're just making up? Um, and they were like, oh, I wish I was creative enough to make these things up, but these are, I'm getting these from another source. They didn't tell the source because obviously if they did, everyone would just go follow that person. But fuck that person too for making this shit. Like, y'all, come on, stop making flags. First of all, a little mini rant. Stop making flags. Stop. I don't like it. I don't even like the woke flag. I'm sorry. The woke pride flag with the color, I think it's kind of ugly. Um it's just a weird, it just looks weird to me. I understand that, the white people who put it outside, they're making their statement like we're inclusive. We're diverse, guys. We're gay and we support black people. You can do whatever you want. I'm still going to be looking at you sideways. But please stop making all these damn flags. No one needs to know. Even if Dreamsexual was a real thing, and I'm gonna get to that in a second. Even if it was a real thing, do you need, like when you're working as a barista at Starbucks, right? And you're wearing your flag because you want people to know that you want to represent. Are you gonna wear the asexual flag or are you gonna wear the dream sexual flag? If you wear the dream sexual flag and someone asks you what that means, what you gonna say to them? Are you gonna be like, yeah, so like I have wet dreams, you know? I have dreams where I'm sexually attracted to people. I'm not in real life, but when I go to sleep, I have wet dreams. Yeah, that's basically what that means. Like nobody gives a fuck about whether or not you are sexually attracted to people in dreams. People be in dreams fucking dinosaurs. Nobody needs to know about that. We don't need to know your personal business. Are you a what the hell they call it? Are you a zoophile if you have a dream and the horse looks kind of sexy because it has Brad Pitt's face on it or something? Now, are you gonna tell people that now? No. Why not? You want to tell them all your other business? Don't nobody need to know about this. Like I literally was trying to have this conversation with one of my Gen Z friends because unfortunately I'm at the cutoff, so I'm technically still a millennial. But I had this conversation with my Gen Z friend who had never heard of asexuality before. Okay, Sadie's just like she's like, you gonna let me sit on your lap? Hey, Sadie, he to the camera. You can only see ears, but and I was just like, this doesn't make any sense. And I was explaining, she was like, why would someone label themselves that way? And I was like, they got problems. Like, I don't know. Sorry to be judgy. No one needs to know what the fuck's going on in your dreams. Okay, that's one. Two is having wet dreams is, and I hate to use this word, but it's a completely normal experience. Lots of people have wet dreams, especially when they're going through like puberty, because a lot of times wet dreams is influenced by your hormones and like your body's response to those hormones. So if you are having hormone fluctuations and it happens during your sleep, you're going to experience um a spike in your libido, which could spike your desires in your body. And if you're having a dream, it could influence the way your dream goes. Like, you ever heard of people who have to pee and when they're asleep in their dream they have to pee? You know what I mean? Like, well, I don't know. I feel like people are like that. I know I've been in situations where I've been dreaming, and in the dream I've been like, man, I gotta go pee, I gotta go to the bathroom. And I'm like, oh, but I'm dreaming, so it's whatever. And I wake up and I was like, oh God, I really have to go to the bathroom. Like, that's literally what it is. Like, how your body feels translates into your dreams. Like how, like, you've seen things about people whose dog is like licking their face while they're asleep. In their dream, they dream that someone's licking their face. Um, you get bit by something or your leg's itching really bad. In your dream, you scratch your leg. Like, all of that stuff happens and it's a completely normal experience. So to try and craft an identity around stuff, like I be feeling stuff in my dreams, really just sounds like the hallmark of somebody who's confused. This is why we need better sex education in schools, because then you would understand that and you wouldn't feel like, oh, I'm ace, but in my dream this person was hot. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't feel like that was like a weird thing, because shit be going down in your dreams. Like, whatever your body's doing is what you're going to feel. Like, if you sleep in the wrong position, you'll feel pain in your dreams. And it's not all the time, right? Some people legitimately like have to pee in real life, but it doesn't translate to their dreams. It's not all the time, but it's not like it never happens. It's not like, oh, 0.05% of people experience sexual attraction in their dream. It's not, that's not a thing. Not even statistically. And this page, whose whole thing is about everybody's valid, we accept everybody, they're grifting because they've built a substantial following. First off, stolen content. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna knock somebody really for taking a picture from something else, because I do it on my fucking Instagram. I post shit that I took pictures of, and then I post, memes. Like, I'm not saying that that's like a sin or something like that. I'm saying that the issue I have is that you are constantly posting these and promoting these so that you can get thousands and thousands of followers, not realizing that while you may promote it as, oh, everybody's valid and identity for everyone type shit, it's really really confusing. And also, stop putting shit under the ace umbrella. I'm back up off of that one, but you know how I feel. Okay. So, dreamsexual is what you call people who do not understand sexual education and do not understand um, the body's anatomy or physiology or hormones. Seems to be a lot of people claiming to be ace who just don't understand how hormones work, and that's the issue, y'all. Educate yourselves. Um, okay, what's this other one? Okay, dwin sexual. First of all, this flag is so ugly because it's a bunch of black, brown, green, and I'm just like, this look like shit. It does. I'm sorry. It looked like shit. But basically is an allosexual. They don't call it allosexual, but it's an allosexual who has some kind of big event that causes them to be asexual. Now you already know how I feel. Can't nobody make you anything. They literally cite an example of Dreamsexual of somebody who's in a relationship that is sexually abusive and now they no longer feel sexual attraction or their sexual attraction is less than it was before. No, that's not attraction. So what happens when people are in sexually abusive relationships? A lot of things. A person could come out of that and be hypersexual. A person could come out of that and be sex repulsed. You can experience sexual attraction and be sex repulsed, meaning that you do not want to engage in sexual activities. Another thing that can happen is that a person may feel intense shame or trauma around any type of sexual activity, which would mean that they would be afraid or even triggered at the thought of having sex. Being asexual is about sexual attraction. It is not about whether or not you are afraid of sex. It is not about whether you have some kind of mental illness that affects how you interact with people in a sexual way. It is not about if you have erectile dysfunction and so you don't get aroused as much. It has nothing to do with any of that. It is literally whether or not you are sexually attracted to other people. You cannot be sexually attracted to people and still engage in sexual activities because that's just something your body is doing. A gay man can have sex with a woman. He may not be sexually attracted to her, but he can physically still perform the act. Whether or not he can physically perform the act of sex has nothing to do on his with the bearings of him being a gay man. The same is true for asexual people. What your body physically does and what you are willing to physically engage in has nothing to do with sexual attraction. Now, sometimes they can be concurrent, like I happen to be an asexual who is sex repulsed. And because of that, I do not want to engage in sexual activity. But it doesn't mean that those two things are like they come together. They don't come together. They're two things that can exist in the same space, in the same body, in the same person, but they don't have to. That's why there are some ace people who do have sex. And it's completely their choice. I'm not going to grill people who do have sex, okay? Now, will I feel weird if you tell me that you go to orgies and you hook up with strangers, but you call yourself asexual? I'm gonna be a little like, those things don't really match up in my mind. But am I going to fight you on it? Am I going to become your therapist about it? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm specifically speaking for myself, and I'm also speaking in the broader terms of representation for the asexual community. This is not the way we want to represent the asexual community because this just makes us sound real confused. It does make us sound like we just want to be special and unique, um, because we keep creating labels and mini labels and micro labels for every little thing to make us sound cool or to wear a cool flag. If you don't like the ace flag, that's okay. But baby, stop making these damn, this flag is brown, black, and white. And then there's another flag that is pink and purple. And there's another flag that looks, is this the fucking, is this the Ukraine flag? Whatever. It isn't, and at this point, it's not even colors. They're also throwing in like little symbols and shit. Like I'm not even gonna try to decipher what the symbols mean. Okay. So this one is, oh yes, Durasexual. Like this one reminds me of Duracell, like the batteries, because it says it's defined as an identity under the gray A spectrum, which so gray ace is also a spectrum and different. Okay, see, they don't know which way they want to go. But an identity under the gray spectrum, when someone rarely experiences sexual attraction, and when they do, it lasts for a long period of time. So, reframing the narrative here, a little restructuring of the thinking. If an allosexual sometimes experiences, well, if an allosexual experiences sexual attraction most of the time, and there are times when they don't, there are periods where they just go where they don't find anyone attractive. Is that not the same thing as this, but you're just framing it as an ace person who experiences sexual attraction for long periods of time, when really it sounds to me like an allosexual person who has some periods of time where they just don't find anyone attractive, which again, as I say, is a very normal experience. Not everybody is walking around horny for each other all the time. Not everybody is drooling over every person of a certain gender or appearance. Like, I know people who thought they were ace for that exact reason because the people around them weren't attractive. And then they went somewhere else where there were people who were attractive to them, and now they're like bisexual, pansexual, and they fuck everybody. Y'all got to understand the differences, and you're not understanding the differences. That's why y'all confused. Another one that I don't like, doubt sexual. This sounds stupid. Basically, someone who does experience sexual attraction, but then they doubt whether or not it's sexual attraction. Sounds again like a therapy issue that you should be working out in therapy. I like the flag though. It does remind me of like the purple Powerpuff Girl. But like literally the definition of it is you experience sexual attraction, but you doubt whether or not you experience sexual attraction. Even in the definition there it says you experience sexual attraction. So not ace, but you doubt yourself. So, one, you need to understand what sexual attraction is so you won't doubt yourself so much. Two, you should go to therapy and talk about why you doubt your sexuality so much, why you have trouble accepting yourself. Sound to me like some of these doubt sexuals are the ones making these flags. Yeah, I'm gonna do these last two and then I'm gonna stop because I'm not going down this rabbit hole again. Nocturnal sexual. Guess what that means? It means that you experience sexual attraction all the time, but it's just stronger at night. Like it's just yeah, you're just extra horny when the sun goes down. A sexuality that is under the asexual umbrella. You experience sexual attraction all the time. It just feels like you're hornier at night. Now, when I was younger, and the reason I doubt whoever made this, I do think the flag's kind of cute though. Um, the way movies and stuff made it seem, I thought sex was something that only happened at night. I couldn't fathom why somebody would have sex during the day. Like it just seemed like a nighttime activity. It didn't make any sense to me. And as I got older, I found out people have sex at whatever time, whenever they feel like it. And I was like, oh, okay. But then some people, like married couples, they just reserve it for nighttime when the kids are asleep or when they're back from work. You know what I mean? It's not a thing. Well, and I'm not gonna say, I take that back. It could be a thing. You could be someone who genuinely feels like you feel more arousal at night. That doesn't make you ace though, because still you're still saying that throughout the day, throughout the night, throughout the week, you are still experiencing sexual attraction at whatever you think is a normal rate of sexual attraction. You are still experiencing it. You just feel like it's stronger at night. That's not asexual. That is pure allosexual. And it's like allosexual, but if you want to let your partner know that, hey, this is the time of day that I prefer to have sex, okay. That's not another label in identity. And the opposite of that is diurnal sexual. Here it is. The opposite of that is diurnal sexual, where it's stronger during the day. And this one does say that you may not have sexual attraction at night. I'm still not like who's dividing it up like that really hard. Like I just really want to know who was like, yeah, I don't be feeling like having sex at night. And that turned into a flag and an identity. Is anyone actually using these? Because it seems to me that this person is who has this page is kind of presenting themselves as this asexual loving person who loves everyone, welcomes everyone, promotes validity for everyone, and they are but their people are looking to them as someone who is sharing resources about asexuality. Like, oh, you want to learn about asexuality, you're going to go to the page that has 11 over 11,000 followers, right? You're not going to go to the Avon page. You're not going to go to the asexual page that only has like a few hundred or a thousand. You're going to go to an asexual page that has the most amount of followers because that makes them look legitimate. So you're going to be looking at this person as if they are a source of information and education about asexuality, when in reality, they're just posting shit that they're finding from some other page, some other website, don't know where it's coming from. Um, and it's made up. It kind of reminds me of when I was younger and I would like write my little raps. You know, you be rapping as a kid and you literally go to like rhyme.com or whatever the website is now for that. And you literally just look for words that rhyme with the word that you want to say so that you can rhyme in your rap. And it feels like someone literally is going through looking at, I don't know if they're looking at Latin words or random word generators or a thesaurus of some sort. But it literally looks like they're finding these words that they think are cool and they're putting sexual on the end and they're making up a sexuality. How they're defining these flags, where they're getting these flags from, how they're coming up with ideas for these flags, no fucking idea. I literally have no idea what the original source of this content is because the person is not saying what the original source of the content is that they're pulling, but they're getting this from somewhere. And let me double check. Yeah, they're getting this from somewhere and then they're putting their Instagram name as a watermark in the flag so that anyone who shares it anywhere will come looking for them and will follow them. But they admit in one of these comments that they're getting it from somewhere else. So it's literally, and I never claim that any of the memes I share are mine. In fact, I love when I find a meme or image that has the person's Instagram handle or their Facebook handle in it, because I say the way you scratch me has their Instagram handle or their Facebook handle in it. And I make sure that I keep that in the image so that when I share it, y'all know it came from, you know, smile once a day, you know, on Instagram or whatever. You know what I mean? I make sure I do that because I'm never going to be like, oh, yeah, I made this. Oh, yeah, I said this. I didn't say this. I don't even know if the person I took it from said that. But you can go look at their page and see this person is taking this content from whoever and they're putting their name on it like it's theirs, but then they admitted that they're not the creators of this. They're not the creator of the label. They're not the creator of the flag. They're taking it from somewhere else and they're making it their own so that they can continue to get followers and be Instagram famous. Not realizing that this is actually doing a detriment to the community because people are looking to them for education, and it's just making us look worse and worse and worse, like we don't know. Like, and I understand, you know, wanting to have big followings on social media for asexual people. Like, yeah, I could use more subscribers, but I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend that I'm someone I'm not just so that I can get more attention online. I'm not going to do that. So I just really encourage you guys as you go out and interact with the world. Um to be very cautious, because I feel like there are people in the community who are grifters. There are people in the community who are not asexual, who are, you know, lying for whatever their reasoning is. I'm not even going to try to understand why people do it, but I would say the asexual community has to be the easiest community to infiltrate for people who are not a part of that community. And I know that people are like, you don't want to gatekeep. You don't want to make people feel like they're not welcome. There are a lot of asexual people who don't feel welcome in the asexual community because of these other people who don't share the experiences or the values of actual asexual people, but they want a piece of the pie, whatever the fucking pie is. Because really, it ain't a lot of pie to go around, and I will literally push my slice over to someone else so that they can eat. And there are people in here who are like, I heard y'all got pie. We got pie over there too, but we want your pie. You know, it's just very, very detrimental. And I just encourage you guys to keep, you know, stay weary of these people. of these sites, because it's obviously it's not showing like who this person, we don't really know who the person is who runs this page. But the asexual community online is just full of so much garbage right now, and people don't want to clean it up because they think it's offensive to do so. And we're going to continue to look like hoarders until we really put a firm line on, this is asexuality, this is allosexuality. In this big gray area where you may not feel like you fit in one or the other, here's gray sexuality. In there, here's demisexuality, and then have at it. But a lot of this other stuff is, people need therapy, they need education, they need to understand like what, and I don't even know if it'd be like a statistic or something, but they need to understand that their experiences are not as alien to the rest of the world as they think they are. And maybe that's a social interaction thing where they just need to talk to more people. But y'all cannot keep making up labels and identities based on you feeling like an outsider, or you feeling like you're not as normal as everybody else, because in reality nobody is really normal. Normal is not really a thing, it's a social construct. When I say normal, even when I say normal, I'm saying like statistically abundant. You know what I mean? Like statistically, lots of people are straight. Statistically, lots of people are cisgendered. That doesn't make them better or worse than anybody else. Statistically, lots of people experience sexual attraction. It's okay. Statistically, there's a few people who don't. Statistically, there's a few people who are trans, who are gay, who are lesbian, whatever. Um, but just because you feel alienated or you feel weird doesn't mean you have to invent a new identity. There are identities that already exist. And as long as we keep making more stuff, we'll never be able to hone in on the stuff that's already there. And we'll never be able to have the actual representation that we need as a community, because there's no ace person you could put in anything that's going to match, because we define it in 50 million ways. You can put an ace person up there who doesn't experience sexual attraction, and that's the only thing. Maybe they experience romantic attraction, they have relations, whatever, and people will complain because that person won't match their experiences, and they also call themselves ace. So now you need to fix it. Do we really want to live in that world? I don't. We already live in that world, but I don't want to live in that world anymore. So anyway, okay. Okay. I've already started to end the video like twice already. So I'm gonna actually end the video here. Thank you guys for listening. Um Coming, back to talk about this stuff. It's not a lot I can say about it other than to be like, hey, new bullshit alert. Here's the newest bullshit of the week. Here's your daily bullshit. Eat up. You know what I mean? Because all of them is like, I have the exact same thing to say about all of them. And it's either go to therapy or educate yourself further or socialize. That's really what I have to say about these things. So apologies that I don't have a lot of content, but I feel like asexuality is really cut and dry at this point, and everybody else is making it complicated, and it don't make no sense to me. So thank you guys for listening. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Take care of yourself because you deserve it. Nobody else is gonna do it for you. Drink your water, take your naps, eat your food, nourish your body, rest and relax your mind. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Okay, I just want to come back really quick because I wanted to look more into the page, because I was really just reacting to, some of the pictures and everything. So as I looked more into the page, I started seeing where they are now listing themselves. They are now in the description of these pictures giving themselves credit. Credit for what exactly? I don't know. They just say credit and then they put, their actual Instagram tag. I found the comment where somebody asked about, is this real or not? Because I've seen several comments as I was looking for this comment of people being like, well, I'm confused now. No shit. Um, and then other people being like, "Ooh, this is so cool because this is kind of like another language, or we say this in Denmark or whatever." Um, One of the things, aside from people being like, "Is this really a thing?" Someone actually said, "These are really neat, But I'm curious, are these known in the ace community or are you making them up? Not that people can or shouldn't adopt the labels, just if you're the one coming up with the names, flags, and definitions, or how official the sexualities are. That's what somebody asked them. Very respectful. I like. Um, and they said, I wish I had this much creativity to quote unquote make up all of these terms. No, all I do is find them and create a little educational post about them. And then they said, "Oh, applaud the work that you're doing. This is neat." Um, so they're finding it somewhere and then they're creating the little pictograph of it. I don't know if they took the flag or if they made their own flag. I'm guessing they took the flag as well. So like they were somewhere, someone said, "Hey guys, new sexuality just dropped. Dreamsexual. Here's what it means. Here's the flag." And they said, "Cool. I'm gonna make a little picture of it with my name on it and I'm gonna put it on my page so that everybody can see it." Um and all that. And so that's what it seems like it's doing. So the creator of the Instagram page that I keep coming after, because you have over 11,000 followers, they're not creating the sexualities, they're not creating the labels, but they are finding the labels from somewhere and they're creating a pictograph with the flag and the definition that is they created that part. They created the image that you will see as it gets spread across the internet and shared everywhere. That's why their name is, on the image like that. Um I still think it's stupid. But I just wanted to correct myself before I even put the video out. Make sure that I got my shit together and I'm saying what I'm supposed to be saying and I'm like accurate in what I'm saying. Um, but I still think, it's stupid and you're not educating people, you're confusing people. As I see in a lot of the comments is people being like, well, I'm confused now. What am I don't know anymore. um and I mean, if you follow all of this shit, you're nobody. You're everybody and you're nobody at the same time. So I understand when people are confused. I understand when some people be like, oh yeah, this is me. Like I've had a couple wet dreams before. A lot of people have had them. So you're not, stop. And I don't want to say, people are so obsessed with being different, and I get that a lot of people feel kind of alien, they feel kind of outcast, they feel like they're not like everybody else. I struggle with that a lot myself if you see my other videos. But I think some people go out of their way to like wallow in that versus just trying to figure out who they are and then going with that, like being your authentic self. Instead of that, it's like, I'm different from everybody else, I'm so different from everybody else, and I have to find things to show everybody how different I am from them. And you don't have to do that. Like, if I if I wanted to be truly different, if I wanted to lean into the whole I'm different thing, I, dye my hair some, new color. Maybe I do some weave, do a new type of hairstyle that I don't even really like. Maybe I walk around with pink hair and wear dresses that are, all these crazy designs that you see on the internet. And I could really lean into the difference and be like, see, nobody likes me because I'm different. I could lean into that if I wanted to. I know some people who have, but I choose to wear the hairstyles that I feel like I like, wear the clothes that I like. You see, I'm in the comfortable black shirt. Um, I don't always have to be wearing something unique in order for me to be unique. Um, I just am who I am. And I feel like there are a lot of people who are struggling with that right now. And it's very unfortunate that they feel that they need to invent new labels, especially when it comes to things like sexuality, to stand out. And you really don't. And even if you did have like share these experiences, no one needs to know your private business. No one needs to know what you like to do in the bedroom. No one needs to know you have wet dreams. No one needs to know that you get horny at night or during the day. No one needs to know about your traumatic sexual abuse in your previous relationship aside from your partner. You don't need a flag to tell people that you were sexually abused. Now, if you wanted to be someone who's like an advocate for those people, then sure, but that's not what these are. These are overly descriptive, overly specific. unnecessary amounts of information for you to form an identity around. And that's really, really sad. And so, like I said, I tell you to touch grass, but there's hookworms out there. So don't do that to yourself either. Um, take care of yourself, guys. Please, please go to therapy. Please, if you can, make sure you're checking in on your mental health. If not with a therapist, with your community, with this community, I don't care. Post in a Discord about it. Because you're not as alone as you think you are, and you don't need a lot of extra labels to make yourself feel more alone and alien. You just don't. We're here for you. All right. Love you guys. Bye.